I would like to see that there is a...
Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Shivani Singh, and welcome to this very special telecast on the Tamil Nadu election. We are now hours away from elections in Tamil Nadu. And while most of the election coverage goes in politics, in campaigning, in raising of issues and the battle of narratives, which is important too, it is our duty as journalists to also talk about the future of the state. Because at the end of the day, that is what matters. Tamil Nadu has had a grand place in the history of India, from being an ancient maritime hub to now also being a crucial part of India's future in space, AI, electronics and more. We will now, over the next 30 minutes, absorb and then also discuss what is the plan for Tamil Nadu. First, let's put this in context. Let's in fact take you through how Tamil Nadu looked like in ancient India. So these are some of the key trade routes that we are bringing to you over here on your screens. And these red dots, if you can see them, there were around 16 major ports in ancient Tamil Nadu, and all of these ports were in fact important for the blue economy of the state during ancient time. Now remember that this is during the ancient time that we are talking about. So these were the major trade routes in Tamil Nadu. Let's in fact bring you some of the most important trade routes and ports that were on this entire route that we have showed you. So there are 16 points out that we have mapped for you. We are getting you the top 3. So let's look at Kaveri Pattanam, where you are seeing this is located over here. It was used for importing horses from Arab countries. It was used for importing finished goods from Indonesia. It also shows evidence of ship maintenance units and dockyards. That's a modern phenomena that we keep talking about, and very few ports have it. But Kaveri Pattanam in ancient times had this, the ship maintenance units and dockyards as well. Let's look at another port, which is Azga Kunam, which is the Roman, where it was Roman pottery was imported, beads and textiles were also imported at this particular hub. So apart from these two, another major hub was in fact Korkai, which is in Tuticorin. So this was used for exported pearls, export of pearls and marine products to Rome and Southeast Asia. So you can see that Kaveri Pattanam looked at imports. We saw Tuticorin, which was looking at exports as well to Southeast Asia. Let's look at some of the other ports that we are bringing for you. We have Kovalam, where it was engaged in trade of fish, of salt, of local produce. We have Mamalapuram, where stone sculptures, spices, textiles, and this trade route was with Southeast Asia and also China. Let's look at Satruga Pattanam, where it was used for trading of textiles, of indigo and spices with European partners as well. So we are looking towards the Middle East as well, where this entire trade was carried out. So now that we are seeing, we have seen these important trade routes that have in fact been existing in ancient Tamil Nadu. Joining us on this broadcast is a historian who will help us get more perspective into this issue. In fact, I welcome you, Mr. Bernard Chami. Thank you so much for taking out your time and for speaking to NewsX. We appreciate it. I want to understand, and I believe our viewers would also like to understand how great the blue economy was during the ancient Tamil Nadu period, when there were a lot of dynasties that were landlocked in India. the Cholas actually looked towards the horizon. We were looking towards trade, and maritime economy was something that mattered the most. So if you can take us through the great maritime power of Tamil Nadu during the ancient times, sir. Mr. Bernard, if you can hear us. All right. So I believe we will try to reconnect with Mr. Bernard, but let's go across to Mr. Pularao, who's an author and economist who's also joining us on this broadcast. Sir, if I can get your observation regarding ancient Tamil Nadu, the blue economy that ancient empires like the Chola focused on.
You see, absolutely. I think the way things go is Tamil Nadu is a seafaring and a state with a vast coastline. Naturally, it was looking outwards, and that obviously, when a civilization or a society looks outwards, it already means that you're very developed and that they have a lot of interest, a lot of knowledge. They want to go outside, they want to trade. And roughly in the 10th century, 11th century, you saw Tamil Nadu doing all of this. It is no small measure that they have succeeded in expanding Tamilian culture, Tamilian rituals from that day till now. If you look around at Malaysia or Bali or Sumatra, let alone Andamans and other parts, or Burma for that matter, or Myanmar as it's called, you find that Tamilians have been there, done business with them. There are signs there. It's an extraordinary sign of the great developed state of Tamil Nadu at that time. And don't forget, one of the greatest temples has been built at that time, the great temple at Trichinopalli by the Cholas, which is still standing today. It's a wonder of the world. Therefore, all this we have, it comes from having your country extend outwards, go outwards, do trade and do that, and have relations with other countries, exchange with them, get their scientific knowledge, spread your culture, your language and religion. And that's what Tamilians did in that day. It is still standing. You go to Sri Lanka, I forgot to mention, there, most of it is, Tamil influences there. So it is the maritime life of Tamil Nadu has been extraordinary in India. And I don't think any other state can boast of such a maritime tradition as Tamil Nadu, present-day Tamil Nadu. Not only were they trading with the Romans, Roman coins were found in all these harbors and Tamil Nadu ancient harbors, Roman ships. And, enough exploration has not been done on the coast. Otherwise, you would find far more ships and other tools which they were using in those days to travel and trade. Eventually, it will come out. But at the moment, what we have is sufficient to tell us that there was trade, commerce, all of that. You might ask, why was there interruptions? Why was there an interruption at that time? The interruption is simply because, maybe the foreign conquests and others came at that time to India. And, the Tamilians had this interruption. Otherwise, it would have gone on developing more and more relations. There would have been a modern ship industry at that time itself.
Right. In fact, I want to take our viewers across to what is being done in the state now, because that's the main question that we'd like to answer. So what's being done now to make Tamil Nadu a maritime hub? Number one, we have a national shipbuilding and heavy industries park. It is a 2,000-acre mega cluster with 1.2 million GT of shipbuilding capacity. So we are obviously looking at a lot of shipbuilding capacity in modern Tamil Nadu. Let's look at that route, Chennai to Vladivostok. This is the next point that we are in fact coming out to. This is the Chennai Vladivostok Maritime Corridor. This is a sea route connecting Chennai port to Vladivostok in Russia, and this reduces the India-Russia trade route time actually to just 24 days. Let's also look at the outer harbour container terminal, which is a 7,000 plus crore project to make Tuticorin the transshipment hub. So we are investing a large amount of money to make sure that Tamil Nadu becomes a maritime hub again globally. This is number 4. Let's look at a world-class commercial Cochin shipyard. Rupees 15,000 crore investment in the commercial Cochin shipyard limited. Let's look at the HD Hyundai Greenfield shipyard as well, where we are looking at a $4 billion investment to produce crude carriers. So over here again we are looking at shipbuilding capacity which will enhance, and this is in collaboration with a private player as well. So these are some of the points that we are in fact trying to discuss for you. Let me in fact also rope in Mr. Sharath Kohli, who's joining us on this broadcast. He's an economist. Thank you so much Dr. Kohli, for taking out your time and for speaking to NewsX. We appreciate it as always, and we are looking at these big ticket investments in the maritime industry in order to make sure that Tamil Nadu actually reaches that 1 trillion mark in. So how do you see Tamil Nadu's transition from not just being a coastal state to becoming the gateway for India towards, maybe the Arctic and also the Indo-Pacific?
Well, good evening, Shivani, to you and the viewers. I think Tamil Nadu has done fairly well over the last few years, although it could have been done better if, the friction between the center and state not being there, which we witness so often. There's an anti-center kind of a sentiment when the state is governed, which probably deprives you of so many economic advantages. But if you look at the ports of Tamil Nadu, you look at the Chennai port, which is one of the largest. Then we look at the Tuticorin, which is now called the VOC port. Then we look at the Kamarajar port, and we look at the Cuddalore and Nagapattinam port. So all combined, I think the top 2 commodities and cargo which are traded, the heaviest of them all, or shall I say, in terms of value, the most valuable are automobiles and textiles. That is the forte. And apart from maritime, Shivani, what Tamil Nadu has managed in the last few years is it has managed to become a manufacturing hub as well, which is very good, because to be simply dependent on maritime, in fact, they go hand in hand. If you're a manufacturing hub and you have a maritime asset base, obviously they complement each other. So obviously, it's the gateway to Southeast Asia, first of all. But now, of course, Arctic and Vladivostok, which you just spoke of, that, of course, is going to be the new corridor, which is going to combine. Now, Tamil Nadu principally is amongst the top 3 states in the country. And I think if Tamil Nadu has walked into that position, it is surely on account of its economic progress. Well, I personally feel, Shivani, that Tamil Nadu could have done much better if what I mentioned in the beginning, if this friction with the center would not have been there. We see protests on so many fronts happening in Tamil Nadu. I saw the Tamil Nadu present chief minister burning away the Delimitation Act and the Women's Reservation Bill and so and so. So I think these kind of thought processes, this kind of attitude, these kind of sentiments, they set the state back, because after all, it's a federal system. There's a center, there are states, and when you tend to conflict or when you're in frequent friction with the center, obviously you get deprived of so many things, so many schemes of the center which you do not want to probably go ahead with. You look at the GDP of per capita income of Tamil Nadu, which is amongst the best in the country. It's more than 4 lakh rupees if I take it on current terms, although the real per capita numbers would only come out after the census has been done, which has already started. But assuming it to be 4 lakh, which is fairly healthy, it's far better than rest of the country. So the succeeding governments in Tamil Nadu have done a good job. They have not fared all that badly. But then, the problems remain. The problem of, I would say, township stress, the problem of migration, the problem of, people moving out and in, the problem of infrastructure, problem of water has been there. In some parts, problem of energy has been there. Then if you see the southern part of Tamil Nadu, Shivani, you will find that as compared to the northern and the remaining parts, that is far less developed. So the development around Tamil Nadu hasn't been very balanced if you see across the years. So I think there is a need for the government,
Right.
whichever government gets elected, there is a need for a balanced approach, and there's a
Okay.
need for a double engine method of governance, which
All
has
right.
been very successful across the
All
country.
right, let me rope in Mr. Rao as well into this discussion. Mr. Rao, do you also believe that this 1 trillion mark that has been put forward, do you believe that this is something that Tamil Nadu can achieve? And when we compare it to, say, for example, the Chola Empire, which where the maritime corridor extended beyond, the modern Indonesia, modern Thailand, do we see Tamil Nadu again getting back through these maritime hub initiatives that have been seeing a lot of investments right now?
Oh, no, obviously, you see, Tamil Nadu did not just come up yesterday or was not hindered in the last 10 years. There will always be friction about state and central governments, and it is the responsibility of both to see there is no friction. Not one way. It doesn't work like that. And it's not a good, healthy sign to feel that somebody dictates something from the center, it works. That's not correct. Earlier, there used to be a planning commission and there used to be some kind of planning. Now we don't have that. Each state on its own. But Tamil Nadu has another advantage. A lot of intellectual capital, a lot of educational institutions, and a history of managing large corporations. Some of the first companies which started there 100 years, 150 years ago are still there. And there's, technical knowledge and all of that. Therefore, I see that it will go ahead. It will reach its target, especially some of these new initiatives like opening up the corridor from Vladivostok. Till now, our access to Russia has been through their Baltic ports.
Right.
Everything comes from the Baltic side. It has to come all the way around Suez Canal. If Vladivostok will develop as a corridor to India, it has to be Tamil Nadu, which is the natural place. And it will have a big impact, especially if India develops relations with Russia, and Russia can only give you resources, not usually manufactured goods. So it is well placed. And they are very alert also. Though there's a lot of freebie culture and all of that, competitive politics, they're very alert. And the administration, the bureaucracy is quite independent. And they're respected there. Their voice is heard. Even now, that tradition is there among politicians of Tamil Nadu and some southern states, where the bureaucracy is taken seriously and their advice is adhered to. And Tamil Nadu may have political differences with Delhi, but they have a system where the bureaucracy keeps in close touch with the central government. And right from pre-independence days also, they've dominated the bureaucracy in some ways. So there's no gap there. And all of this should add to a very ambitious future for Tamil Nadu. And, contrary to what you hear, usually the noise that there's some vast social conflict going on there, it's not true. These noises have been there for the last 125 years, right before, you can say 1900. They're just noises. They don't impact daily life and, the civil culture, the civil relations between all societies. And even the political class, they don't become vituperative against each other.
Right.
So we see a good future for them.
Absolutely. In fact, I'll come back to you, Mr. Rao. We have some more information that we'd like to share with our viewers. Let's in fact now look at space, because that's another segment that Tamil Nadu is looking to build towards. So let's look at Tamil Nadu, how it is going to become a space hub. Number one, we have the ISRO spacecraft. This is commissioning targeted in financial year of 2026-27. So we are obviously going to see a commissioning of a spacecraft, ISRO spacecraft over there. Let's look at number two, which is startup Agnikul's huge success. This is tested world's largest single piece 3D printed booster engine. So this is a 3D printed booster engine. Can you imagine what kind of giant leaps we are in fact taking in this sector? Let's also look at dedicated space base with rupees 300 crore packages established in Madurai, Tuticorin in Tirunelveli and Virudhu Nagar. So these are the places where we'll have dedicated space base with 300 crore packages. So a lot of investments in fact pooling in to make sure that this is another sector where Tamil Nadu actually does well. Let's in fact go across to Dr. Kohli on this. Dr. Kohli, big ticket investments in the sector of space as well. We are looking at 300 crore space base in various areas. We are looking at investments and looking at spacecrafts being tested in the next financial year. How are you looking at Tamil Nadu being a global space hub?
I agree with that. I don't deny Tamil Nadu's progress in the space sector. And I think what you missed out mentioning there, Shivani, was that space startups, they have rapidly been setting their bases and footholds in Tamil Nadu. We've been seeing them in Hyderabad, Bangalore, but now a lot of them are looking at Chennai and other places for setting up their startup hubs for space. So I think the space industry as of today, as it stands today, ISRO is now going hand in hand with private startups. There was a time when ISRO was on its own, handling everything on its own, but I think times have changed. And ever since this change has come to the surface, we've seen the space technology, space progress, the benefits of space coming more frequently because of the private startup, because you bring so much of innovation. You bring foreign funding as well. You bring other talent from other countries, and of course the young minds, they get to work. So Tamil Nadu, but Tamil Nadu, having said that, has got a long way to go. We can't compare it with ISRO's full-fledged setup, but at least a beginning has been made. And I feel in the next few years this should go. But there's this one slight concern that I have, because one does hear about corruption here and there, in the circles around the corridors, which I think is completely avoidable, because I see Tamil Nadu as the Uttar Pradesh of the South. Because if you look at the numbers, the fiscal numbers, they're pretty similar to UP. UP is looking at getting to 1 trillion. Tamil Nadu is looking to get to 1 trillion. The GDP is almost similar. It seems like a mirror image in terms of numbers of UP. But one thing which can set back the economic progress, whether it is space, startups, maritime, whatever be the case, I think is corruption. So there's a lot which needs to be done. Well, the government at the top needs to make sure that, because corruption can eat away, all the good work which is being done at the ground level, and corruption can really, dampen the image which Tamil Nadu has. And if Tamil Nadu really wants to attract international attention, foreign investments, I think it needs to be looking at checking corruption in whatever way possible. But I would like to reiterate, Shivani, with your kind permission, that, and I would also like to point out to my learned panelists that if Planning Commission is not there, we do have Niti Aayog, which is doing the planning, which has stepped into Planning Commission's shoes and is playing its role in developing this country. And we are today amongst the fastest growing emerging economy. It's all because of the efforts where Niti Aayog has made its contribution there. So that goes
I'd like
without
to interrupt
saying.
you here, Dr. Kohli, and I apologize for the same, but let's introduce our viewers to another segment where we talk about electronics. How do we make Tamil Nadu an electronics hub? So let's look at what's being done right now. Rupees 10,000 crore full stack sovereign AI park in Chennai by Sarvam AI. So we have a full stack AI park that is being established in Chennai. We are looking at center approved 3 electronic clusters for Tamil Nadu. Total investment of rupees 1,112 crore has been grabbed for this particular 3 electronic cluster initiative by the center. So clearly we are trying to look at the other points, which is around rupees 4,995 electronic components units in Tamil Nadu. So we are looking at electronic components as well, establishment of a semiconductor fabless lab in Chennai with IIT Madras as well. So this is something that we will look at the semiconductor race when we are looking at making Tamil Nadu the electronics hub. Let's also look at the School of Semiconductors lab. This is a comprehensive workforce development program as well that is being talked about in Tamil Nadu. So not just looking at a factory production, but we are looking at training the people as well, and training and imparting knowledge regarding semiconductors. Let's in fact go across to Dr. Kohli on this. Dr. Kohli, finally, when we also look at Tamil Nadu, let's talk about electronics, because this is a sector where we are seeing AI parks, we're seeing huge investments that are coming in, not just from the center in India, but global bodies. And semiconductors, Dr. Kohli, that's a race that's cutthroat in the global world. Do you believe that Tamil Nadu has the willpower to make sure that it enters the race and it stays there to dominate it when we are looking at semiconductors and when we are looking at the human potential and training and imparting knowledge to them as well through these schools that they are establishing?
I think Tamil Nadu has got a great potential for semiconductors, the way things have moved forward and the way it has contributed to electronic exports in India, electronic, assembling and manufacturing. We should not forget that automobile industry these days, cannot do without chips, so, and when you are into automobile hub, well, electronics comes to you by default. There are a lot of automobiles these days is dominated by electronic components, electronic, know-how. So I feel that Tamil Nadu has a huge potential there, and the state is pushing, education on electronic for as a talent for the youngsters. So I think it's a very interesting area for the youth who are planning to look for a career, that they can look, because Tamil Nadu in the years to come, I do feel, is going to become an electronic hub. Obviously, with the support of all that I mentioned just a little before that, all those aspects needs to be taken care of, because any area of growth, Shivani, does need cooperation from the government, does need a federal structure, does need a corruption-free system, does need, a proper planning, coming from all aspects of governance. So yes, I do totally agree that Tamil Nadu has got a great future in electronics, and with the right impetus from state and of course support from the center, they can do wonders, is what I feel.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Kohli, for your perspective on this issue. I also thank Mr. Rao for joining us on this broadcast. With that, we are taking a short commercial and we'll be right back.